Cue the cheesy podcast music.
Welcome to MegaFest, where we don't just manifest, we MegaFest. I'm your host, Megs Malloy. I'm creating a community of silly and soulful working moms who are mostly happy, but know they're capable of more. More self-love, more self-esteem, more self-trust, more calm, joy, natural highs, more magic in the world, and more laughter. Each week, me and my guests will bring you tips and tricks on how to make the most of your one precious life. And we're going to make them effective and efficient because ain't nobody got time for that. I believe in you. I see the light in you. I want you to shine your light. I want you to become all that you're capable of. So let's hang out. Let's MegaFest together. Welcome back to episode 34. I have to say that these last couple weeks I've done a solo cast because I am just a little short on time, but I enjoy these little doses. I'm sure sometimes shorter episodes are better for you. So although I enjoy the interviews, and we have 2 in the can that are just waiting to be published, and they're going to be so great. But in the meantime, as I spend time with my kids on summer break, we're going to have a couple solo casts. So here we are. I'm not apologizing. I'm just explaining to you what is happening, the method behind this madness. And I want to give a shout out to 2 listeners, Annie and Ariana. Now, Annie, I met at the gym, and she found out I had a podcast, and she's listened to a couple episodes, and then she recommended it to her friend Ariana. And I am just so honored that I get to talk about subjects that I love, and hopefully that they inspire and help other moms to be more joyful, less stressed, less suffering. Not that Annie and Ariana, that you were stressed and suffering, but you know, like, we can always take our level of joy and bring it up a notch. We can always do that. It's infinite, the amount of joy that we could actually possibly experience. So let's let our children bring us joy. Let's let our lives bring us joy. And thank you for listening. So in thinking about what would today's topic be, I wrote down the word practice. And then I went to Instagram and I was like, let me just get a little bit of inspiration here on Instagram. Like, let me just see if there's anything that I could add to that. And wouldn't you know, don't you love when this happened? Where I happened upon, it wasn't even somebody I was following. It was a reel that was suggested for me. And it was Michelle Obama talking about how in life we are all practicing. That's all it is. It's practicing who we want to be. So simple. Oh my God. And then the more you practice, then you become an erudite. An erudite is having or showing knowledge that is gained by studying. Studying, yes, but also practicing. So I bring up this idea of practicing because in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be leading a few women through a program called Slow Down Time. And this is something that I have been practicing myself, where I start to get so overwhelmed by all the things, all the external stimuli, and then also my own internal bullshit that's going on. And I've had to slow down time, also slow down time of my kids growing up. And it's something that doesn't happen overnight. You don't just become an erudite and study it and then you know how to do it. You have to practice it. The best way that I have always learned is when somebody is showing me the way, like, hold my hand, please. let's do it together. And so by practicing with a guide to help us slow down time. So how do we slow down time? So part of the practice will be learning to calm our nervous system. And as you know, when I was going through my mommy burnout working at the cemetery, I tell you at least 50% of my problems that were going on where I was having short reactions with my kids, unable to cope with stress. I was lashing out at my husband, having resentment. And if I had just been able to calm my nervous system, 50% of my stress would have gone away. That's a huge. That's huge. 50%. Think about that. 50% of your stress just went away just by practicing these techniques of slowing the mind, taking a break from stress, basically. So how do you do that? You could take deep breaths. You can do some sort of sensory meditation that only takes a few minutes. You can listen for the sounds around you. You can feel the sensation of your air going into your nostril and out of your nostril. It's as simple as that. But just these things all help us slow our heart rate, bring us back to the present moment instead of the stress of the past and the stress of the future and that ping pong that we do in between the past and the future, and really feeling like our problems are so overwhelming. Practicing. In Slow Down Time, we're also going to practice being curious and playful and childlike at times with our kids. Because sometimes the things that they remember are the moments when mom is silly or does something unexpected. And I promise you, it's going to bring you joy and it's going to bring them joy. And so together, we will practice having these playful, curious, adventurous moments. We are also going to practice the actual slowing down of time, like the pressing the pause button, which is to say, to really savor a moment that you find joyful or pleasant or calm, and really soaking that in so that it lasts longer, so you can get it's like licking your plate. It's like getting every single morsel of deliciousness out of that moment. And that takes practice. And we're going to do that together. And we're going to support each other. And then finally, we're going to practice going through our day, sweeping up any other moments that we might have missed that could possibly just tickle our souls. And we're going to do it together because it's always better when we do it together. I'm sure you've heard this quote, and there's probably many quotes, let's put it that way, but I have it up in my room, and it goes something to the effect of, if you want to change the trajectory of your life, you must change the things you do daily. It's all about the habits. And that's what Michelle Obama is saying too, is like a habit is just practicing, something we do instinctually. And we want to practice being who we want to be. That's how you become who you want to be. It's not just like overnight. It's all the little choices throughout the day. God damn it. Why can't it just be one yes and not a million little yeses? But, it's not going to be perfect. But if we have our GPS set to what kind of person do you want to be in this world? What kind of mother do you want to be? Do you want to be patient? Do you want to be playful? Do you want to be encouraging? Do you want to be emotionally available for your children? And then if you fast forward through your life, you don't want to be the person who's on your deathbed, or your kids are like 25 years old and you're mourning the loss of their childhood because you weren't present when they were growing up. Just think ahead. Think of how you want to be. How it's up to you. How do you want this to go? and I think if you're like me, maybe you're not, but some people agree that soaking in your child's life and enjoying your own life is the way to go. So if you feel like that, I encourage you to keep listening and join us for the slow down time. It's going to be a great way to practice being the person we want to be. So we didn't talk much about being an erudite, but maybe we should make the word of the day practice, because that is really what I want to get across. Because that is really the word of the day, isn't it? Practice. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for lending me your heart and your head and your future. I hope that we can work together to really just practice and grow and exponentially the amount of joy that we allow ourselves to let in. That is my goal. So let's just do it. Let's just practice being joyful, and we can do it together. It's always better when we do it together. All right. Thanks for listening. Now go out there and don't just manifest. Mega Fest!